to Propulsion Lab at Devoxx UK, coming to you live from London. And my next guest is Charles-Philippe Bernard.
Thank you, but you can say Charles, that's it.
No, well, no. We're doing things authentically. Charles-Philippe Bernard.
Very good.
My French pronouns from the early days in school is still there. It's terrible, but yeah, I do my best. Thank you for coming. Great to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
And Charles, I understand that your talks at Devoxx UK are all about generative AI.
That's correct, yes.
And this is all the hype. This is like the most hot topic of like the entire year. And what's your take on it?
Generative AI in particular?
Yeah.
So that's very interesting because I did a lot of talks last year, and I started to do that's the first talk I'm giving at Devoxx UK. So I'm very happy having them inviting me. And last year I've been experimenting a lot, having a lot of fun, discovering a lot of things. This year is when I start actually to implement on real world use case. So I would say I've been able to, go beyond the hype. And now it's yes, you can use that for solving real problems. So
okay,
that's
so
my take on it.
what type of some problems? I guess considering that it's a developer conference, we're talking about problems that developers might have.
So I would say there's two types of problems I'm tackling at the moment. Some at work that I can talk about, but the ones I'm talking about at Devoxx is personal projects and things I'm doing for myself. So I would say I'm experimenting different things. I'm, for instance, using the Vision API from GPT-4 to actually play with GPT on board games and things like that. That's one of the talk I'm giving. But why I started at the beginning of this year is that so there is a game that I used to play when I was 8. It was in 1988, so it was a long time ago. And it's an adventure game on PC, and it has text parser when you discuss with the game, and the game has a kind of game master. So I started this year to actually using local models you can run on your machine, rebuild that game, remaster it from the ground up, and then use generative AI to really dialogue with the game master, and having the game master interacting with you, maybe having other personas in the game, and also the LLM, so GPT also is going to decide which action in the game is next. So yeah, that's really now I really see the potential of you can use that, and particularly interesting because you can also use local models. You don't need to to pay for instance for GPT-4 or anything. Yeah, so that's what I would like to.
That's very cool, and that has a lot of potential for sure. Having your game master as ChatGPT, and my mind directly goes into Dungeons and Dragons. Obviously,
Yes.
when you can have a game master that runs the game, and then everybody can participate because the game master. I mean, I know that there are people that really enjoy this role, but instead of playing, right, and if you have your game master in AI,
Yeah.
everybody can play, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Did
you're
you
right.
try something like that? Is it someone else tried
So
something like
it's
that?
in the realm of possibilities, and I think it's a good example because you mentioned that some people like to do that, but it's a lot of work, to prepare and all of that. So if you can, just give that to the machine and just enjoy playing the game, that's a good example of where you can use that. So that's totally in the realm of the possibilities you can do today.
This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. And you also mentioned you cannot talk about what you do for work because for the obvious reasons. But let me put a generic question. I know that even in the companies that are very protective of their data and their customer data, especially obviously finances and banks, there are still usage that you can do. There are closed local models that you can train and use in-house. Do you see that happening in those more private and more maybe how should I say, conservative industries?
Yeah, I see that in my firm. So the message I want to deliver is that at JP Morgan, we are we want to use these technologies, because we see the potential, but we want to do that, in respect of data privacy,
Exactly.
not damaging the reputation and things
Yep.
like that. So
Yep.
we put in place all those guardrails to make sure that it's done in a way that it's not going to have any bad impact. Actually, that's one of the talk I'm giving tomorrow about data privacy. So how you can use the frontier models like GPT and others without like giving all your data, all your personal information. So there is techniques for that as well. So yeah, that's totally like banks like JP Morgan are very interested in these technologies. They really want to make them like available for developers, because it's very good like for like helping like people writing code, but also like to solve like our clients' problems.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what I meant, and I know that it's possible. Obviously, there is also solutions out of the box. So, for example, if you use Google Gemini, you can limit it to your domain, so you will know that it will only use the data from your domain, and the data that you share won't go anywhere outside of your domain. But obviously, it's good to hear that my bank is doing that. It's very cool. Thank you, because we need that. And anything else fun and interesting?
You mean around generative AI?
Yeah.
You
Something that we need to start looking at, like you mentioned, the Vision API.
Well,
how do we use it? Is it a part of the app that I can like use the camera and then point it to stuff and it will just work?
Yeah, so I started to explore a lot of the computer vision capabilities of these models. Obviously, you have also more traditional AI models for vision, from like in the health industry that are very good. But I see this vision is a good example. I think it's very the beginning. This is going to get better, but currently it has some flaws. So I'm not sure how much you can use vision in like a real world problem you want to solve. Like take a photo, describe the object, yes. Use that for like something critical like self-driving. Maybe not using LLM for that. You can use all type of like AI models as well for that. Going forward, I would say. So what was your question?
Yeah. So what we need to, what's next?
Yeah, okay.
What we need to pay attention right now that will be the next big thing.
So I've been able, because I've been exploring a lot, to like separate the hype and the reality.
Exactly.
And understanding, and seeing the potential. So what I would like to say to people, that's why I'm doing these talks, that I want people to be more aware that exists, because sometimes you even see software engineers, people which are on the field, that don't even like know or care that these things exist. And I already know, because I'm using that at home a lot for writing code. It has a huge impact on just as a software engineer, your efficacy, how much you can do, it's demultiplied already. So that's already happening. And what I don't want is that people one day realizing that they miss the wave, and then they are not that became obsolete because they don't know how to use these tools.
This is I think that's kind of a very real fear, because it's storm, right? And it's already there, and whoever doesn't pay attention will be washed by it.
I know.
So yeah, no, we definitely should pay attention. One of the ways to pay attention is to actually watch Charles-Philippe's talks in Devoxx UK. The one that you already did, the one that you are going to do, definitely, and that's how we pay attention.
Thank you
Charles-Philippe,
very much.
thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
It was a mutual pleasure. Thank you for the time you gave me.
Absolutely. And you all stay tuned. More and more interviews are coming very, very soon.